Hash the bamboo and the oak at the foot of a range of emerald mountains stood an ancient forest. People said it had existed for so long that no one could remember when it first came to life. Every spring, fresh shoots pushed through the earth. Every summer, birds returned to build their nests. Every autumn, golden leaves covered the winding paths. And every winter, the entire forest fell into a silence so deep that it seemed to be asleep. In the very center of that forest stood a magnificent oak tree. Its trunk was so enormous that it would take 5 grown adults holding hands to wrap around it. Its roots stretched deep into the earth. Its branches spread wide like the roof of a great house, casting shade over everything beneath them. Every morning, the first rays of sunlight touched the top of the oak before reaching any other tree. Because of this, the oak believed. It was the king of the forest. Every day, it stood proudly with its head held high. It looked down upon the grass. It looked down upon the young saplings, but most of all, it looked with contempt at a small grove of bamboo growing beside a quiet stream. The bamboo was neither tall nor impressive. Its slender stalks swayed gently with every breeze. Even the softest wind could make the entire grove bend. The oak often laughed, "Hey, bamboo. Do you know what I find most amusing about you?" The bamboo replied softly, "What is it? You have no strength at all. A single breeze is enough to make you bow. If I were you, I would be ashamed." The bamboo did not become angry. Instead, it smiled. "When the wind comes, I bend. When the wind passes, I stand again. That's all." The oak burst into laughter. "That isn't strength, that's weakness." Its laughter echoed throughout the forest. The squirrels stopped leaping from branch to branch. The rabbits looked up from the ground. Even the birds circling above turned to listen. Everyone knew the oak was the strongest tree in the forest. No one questioned its words. Time passed. Spring followed spring. Whenever strong winds swept through the forest, the oak stood perfectly still. The bamboo bent with every gust. Each time the oak laughed, "See, I have never bowed to any wind." The bamboo simply answered, "There are battles that are not worth fighting." The oak shook its branches. Only the weak would say such things. One day, a young sparrow flew into the forest. It had only recently left its nest. It knew very little about the world. It asked the oak, "Sir, how can I become strong?" The oak answered immediately, "Never bow your head. The strong always stand tall." The little sparrow nodded, then it turned to the bamboo. "What about you?" The bamboo smiled gently. "Learn when to stand, and learn when to bend." The sparrow looked confused. The two answers could not have been more different. It didn't know which one to believe. That summer, the winds grew stronger. Branches collided with one another. The leaves no longer whispered softly. Dark clouds gathered more often along the horizon. An old owl who had lived in the forest longer than anyone could remember looked toward the sky and sighed. "There will be a great storm this year." No one paid much attention, least of all the oak. A storm. "I've lived for hundreds of years. I have never fallen." The bamboo quietly listened. It did not argue. It did not try to prove anything. It simply continued to grow. Weeks later, the winds became fiercer. Small branches snapped. Bird nests were blown away. Young trees were uprooted. The oak still stood proudly. Its confidence only grew stronger. "If every tree were as sturdy as I am, this forest would have nothing to fear." The bamboo bent with every gust, then rose again, one afternoon. The sky suddenly turned black. Dark clouds covered every inch of the heavens. Not a single ray of sunlight remained. The air became so heavy that every creature in the forest sensed something was terribly wrong. Ants hurried to carry their eggs to higher ground. Birds searched desperately for shelter. Squirrels disappeared into hollow trunks. The old owl spoke only once. "The greatest storm is coming." Then it fell silent. The first thunderclap shook the earth. the ground trembled, the wind began to howl, at first. It came in long, powerful gusts. Then, it roared like a wild beast. Small trees collapsed, leaves filled the sky. Rain poured down like waterfalls. The oak tightened every fiber of its mighty trunk. I will never bend, I never have. The wind grew stronger. Its great branches shook violently, crack. One massive branch broke away. The oak gritted itself. It's nothing, I am still standing, across the stream. The bamboo grove bent until it almost touched the ground. Every stalk followed the direction of the wind. It did not resist. It did not try to prove its strength. It simply moved with the power of nature. The storm raged throughout the entire night, just before dawn. A deafening crack echoed across the forest. The oak's roots never left the earth. But its mighty trunk could bear the pressure no longer. It split in two. The giant tree crashed to the ground. Silence followed. When the morning sun finally appeared, the rain had stopped. The first light once again reached the forest, but this time, it no longer touched the crown of the oak. The once proud giant lay motionless on the ground. The birds flew overhead. They had lost their home. The squirrels had lost the place where they stored their food. Every creature stood in silence beside the fallen tree. Meanwhile, along the stream, the bamboo slowly rose once more. Drops of water sparkled upon its green leaves beneath the morning light. The oak looked toward the bamboo. For the first time in its life, its pride was gone. In a weak voice it asked, "Why? I was stronger than you. I was taller than you. My roots were deeper, so why did I break?" The bamboo remained silent for a long moment, then it answered gently. "You were not defeated by the storm. You were defeated by your own rigidity. There are moments when standing firm is the right choice. But there are also moments when taking one step back is wisdom. You believed that bending meant failure, but I understood. Sometimes we bend for a little while, so that tomorrow we can stand again." The oak closed its eyes. It remembered the centuries that had passed. It had spent its entire life trying to prove it was stronger than everyone else. It had never learned to listen. It had never accepted that there are forces greater than ourselves. The old owl landed upon the fallen trunk. Looking at all the animals gathered nearby, it said, "The strongest tree is not the one that never bends. It is the one that survives the storm." Years passed. The oak slowly returned to the earth. Its decaying trunk became rich soil that nourished countless new trees beside it. The bamboo continued greeting every season of wind, still bending, still rising again. No one laughed at it anymore. The little sparrow had grown into an adult. Whenever young birds asked, "How do we become strong?" it never answered immediately. Instead, it first flew them over the remains of the old oak, then to the bamboo beside the stream. Only then did it say, "Always remember, life is not about proving that you are stronger than everyone else. Sometimes, the greatest strength is knowing when to be gentle, knowing when to step back, knowing when to change as life changes. Because the things that never change are often the first to break." And from that day on, whenever the wind swept through the forest, the bamboo would quietly bend before rising once again. The story of the proud oak continued to be told from one generation to the next. A timeless reminder that flexibility is not weakness. It is one of the strongest forms of resilience life can offer.
没有。So